Stabilization of the furnace, supporting the universe, the great unknown, who gives it the name of the jade furnace. Having gone through refinement herein, one can leave non-being and enter being at will. Have you been spending time in non-being? Not the good kind. I mean the kind where you're not really involved in your immediate environment, your body, your life, your will. Sometimes we're just moving our limbs around uselessly, and we think that's life. Other times we're in a healthy non-being, where all the ideas and the stories about what we are and what the world around us is are just kind of put aside, because you know they're not real. Non-being. Woo-wee. Woo-wee. Setting up the cauldron. It is not non-being, not being, not in between. Outside is void, inside is empty. The decisive and energetic overturn it and see, all along that has always been aglow. I like that. The instructions aren't exactly clear. A lot of what I've been doing on this channel is trying to take things that I've learned from Nidan, Tai Chi, complete reality Taoism, Qigong, and break it down very simple for beginners like myself. I'm good at being a beginner. I've been a beginner for many years. I throw out the hats and the gongs. Throw out the isms, the culturally specific things, the physically specific things, the things that can hurt you if you do them wrong. Because in the very basic core of these meditation practices, there's things that are so good for anyone, doing anything, for any reason, universal. So, today, like most of the videos, I'm thinking, I should have started here. Here's the first step. Today I'd like to talk about setting up the cauldron. Like a lot of old Taoist stuff, it's metaphor. There are 3 Tan Tiens, 3 forms of Qi in the body. We're going to talk about the Tan Tien, this one. Usually when people say Tan Tien, they mean the lower Tan Tien. Imagine a peach, roughly halfway between your genitals and your navel. About this far in. If you sit in your meditation posture, with or without earplugs, definitely without coffee. You shouldn't be drinking coffee when you're doing this. That's crazy. When you sit in your meditation posture, sink your chest, get your crown point up, right above your perineum. Breathe from your stomach like a baby. The front channel and the back channel, ren mind, du mind, they're going to be like the same temperature. Again, like a baby. As adults, our front channel is warmer and our back is colder. This implies imbalance. The other thing a baby has we don't is they don't have a story about who they are, about what the world is like around them. They don't have a clear idea of what's going to happen tomorrow and what happened yesterday. I'm going to do that in another video. Right now, just focus your thoughts on non-being, which means no thought, which means non-think. And just try this. Now, if you really sit here, cross-legged, cross-eyed, like an idiot, for hours, you'll damage your eyes. But this will get you started. Because eventually you're going to relax your eyes. And your eyes are not completely closed. You're letting in a little light. But they're closed enough that you're not really looking around the room and seeing stuff. Connect your tongue, like I talked about in the other videos. And instead of looking into the void, complete nothingness, like we talked about before in basic non-think, you're going to focus your attention on your Tan Tien. You're not really cross-eyed staring into it. But you can start with that, if it helps. When your eyes relax, your attention is still focused there. Just look at it. Like when we observe the breath without controlling it, you don't want to have ideas about it. You just watch while doing NonThink. Remember how I said that getting good at NonThink strengthens any meditation practice? This is one of them. This one is also very basic and very simple. But you're breathing low, looking at the Tan Tien, not thinking about it. The video didn't stop. My brain stopped. Try this for a bit. In the old days, people would do this for a really long time before they got into these exercises of moving chi around the body and guiding them with the mind. We might do some of those later. There are other people doing YouTube channels on that. And I would discourage anyone from getting into a complex practice before first getting the mind to stop for a while. That's the first step for anything. But concentrating on the first Tan Tien, this one here, maybe not concentrating, maybe not meditating in the Greek sense, but watching. Sitting, forgetting, watching. This will increase your awareness of your own being in the physical sense. Remember, the body in these old books is earth. Heaven is the mind. The mind will try to trip you up. Just relax it like a muscle. Save it for later. And spend some time staring into it. I did a lot of work in induction furnaces a long time ago. This is a story I tell myself about myself. It's a real memory, but still, it's rooted in ego, BS. Anyway, they hum, and they're full of molten metal, and they have these coils around them for cooling. Well, one for electrical, and one for cooling, and the pipes go back to a big cabinet that cools the coolant and sends it back around. Your Tan Tien also has cords coming from it all around the body. All of the major channels and all the little channels come back to this Tan Tien. So just like your physical heart is at the center of your circulatory system, the Tan Tien is at the center of your chi. Also your qing, also your shen. Any work you do with any of those, it's going to start here. So just stare into it. And if you haven't made gray iron and worked in an induction furnace, you might think of it as a pool of water in a dark room with a light reflecting on it, in your face. Or those spotlights they put outside of car dealerships when it's cold and it's rainy outside. And you get up to it for warmth. You can't look at it, it'll hurt your eyes, just like one cannot comprehend the Tao. But you close your eyes and there's still a lot of light and warmth on your face. It's a strange sensation. Sometimes I get that sensation when thinking about the Tan Tien. Guided meditation and images have a limited utility. But if the Tao is incomprehensible, the self is incomprehensible, we don't know. How do we wrap our head around it? How do we try to understand something that we already know is completely incomprehensible? Well, you use that skill that we developed when you watch the breath without controlling it. Just look. Don't think about it. Just observe. Like a dog watching a sunset. Like a cold child looking into a spotlight. Not looking. It's just here. The warmth is on the face. Everything else is dark and cold, but the warmth is on the face and the light. incredible light streaming from the mouth of infinity at the center of all things. It's an odd sensation. One other thing I want to mention, here's a bonus practice. I've said before not to look for certain experiences or physical confirmations that you're doing it right or wrong. But there is one thing that can happen after a lot of NonThink or thinking of the Tan Tien, and it's salivary. Your mouth might be full of saliva. It's strange, but it happens. So, if that happens, here's what you do. Swallow. Have any of you done Qigong? Reach out your arms. Imagine your fingertips encompassing all of heaven. They go way out into space. And you do this gesture with your in-breath. Imagine it coming in your crown point, Bakui, coming down, and into that other Tan Tien, in your sternum, the yellow chamber, Yi, heart center, right here. And let it settle and just kind of drain down. But saliva, it's an odd thing. They call it kan lu, sweet dew of heaven. Some of these old books say, oh yeah, that's the vapor from the furnace, going up and then coming down. And they liken it to the alchemical process, the outer literal alchemical process of breaking down pentavalent stibnite to try to figure out what mass and energy really is. It's pre-science. Don't worry about it. It's all allegory anyway when you really get into it. But it sometimes it tastes like sweet. It's not spit. What the hell is it? It's certainly not mercury vapor. That would kill you. But it's likened to such things, and they call it kan lu. There's something healthy in it. I'm not sure. I'm not really an expert. I'm some guy. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back later with more thoughts on NonThink. Enjoy.